Okay.
All right. If y'all are ready, we're going to get started, and I am going to talk about how to merchandise your art. All right. All right.
Okay, let's go.
Thanks, y'all. All right, so today I'm going to teach you a little bit about merchandising your art. My name is Tamara Budz, and I am a marketing consultant and a marketing instructor. So I teach people how to market their products, primarily entrepreneurs and small businesses, people just like you who create something and then sell it either in shows in person, in boutique shops, or online. So, what is merchandising? Merchandising is anything, anywhere that you are selling your products. And that encompasses your brand, it's your audience, it's the shows, the galleries, the booths, the displays, the handouts that you give someone that gets them to come back to you to buy your product. Anything that touches your brand and is a part of your brand, that's all encompassed in your merchandising because it's all helping you to sell your work. So, within the merchandising umbrella, that booth and gallery presence is a lot of what you guys are doing. You are showing your art out in Sterling or other galleries that are local. You are sometimes painting in-house while people are coming through those galleries. You are at Art in the Park. You're at other local events. And so you have an opportunity to merchandise in person and talk to people uniquely about the work that you're doing and allow them to ask questions. Now, I've been to Art in the Park, and I know that there are some silly questions that come to you guys, but there's also some really valuable questions. And just because you're hearing it for the 35th time that day doesn't mean it's not unique to your audience. And so you need to think a little bit about your audience and how you're presenting yourself to them as part of your overall merchandising, because answering their questions makes you a more approachable artist and makes them want to buy from you. So you want to do those things. So beyond just the booth and the gallery, that's also the collateral. So if you put your business cards on your bags, or if you have a stamp that has your business name on your bags, that customer will remember who you are and come back to you maybe. Oh, I liked that piece. I want to give one to my sister or my mom. And they will see that name and it will click with them that they want to go get another piece. So if you can put your name on things, that is very helpful. So I was in North Carolina for 10 years, and there we have a saying, if it sits still, you put your name on it, because a lot of people monogram their things. I believe that works in business too. If it is a way that you are able to highlight your products and able to highlight where someone bought that, you should. And then also, merchandising is the photos that you take of your product that you put out on your website, out on your social media. So take the opportunity to create the best experience that you can overall. So we're going to go into a little bit more detail on each of these things throughout the presentation. So first, we're going to do branding, because branding is the big umbrella that everything kind of falls under. So what is a brand? The brand is who you are, what your products are. You start with an idea or a product that you create, and then the brand kind of builds from there. It's all the things that you put on top of, adjacent to, next to your products in order to show them to the world and help them present in the best way that you possibly can. So that's your brand. If you think of Coca-Cola, you think of the logo, the red, everything that is associated with that brand. I want your brand to be just as easy to recognize as Coca-Cola. Is it going to be as popular as Coca-Cola? Probably not. But I want it to be just as recognizable. I want someone to see your logo on your tent or at your stand or on your work and be able to say, oh, I know that artist. I talked to him. I talked to her. And I really like the way that she does whatever it is. And you want that to click every time they see that brand. Every time that they see that work, It should all come from the same place. So it's also what kind of products do you sell? So are you going to go out there with 10 different mediums? I don't know. You need to decide that for yourself. Most artists aren't going to work in that many mediums. That doesn't mean you can't. So as long as they're all on brand, if you want to paint birds and you want to create sculptures of birds and you want to take photographs of birds, and as long as there's some consistency throughout every single piece that you're putting out there, fine. Branding is about consistency. Customers need to be able to recognize something within your brand that is a common thread throughout the whole presentation, throughout the purchase process, throughout the after experience. So if they have a great experience with you in the booth and then they have a problem with their order, something breaks, and then they have a really crummy after experience, you've ruined your brand. You've brought what was once a wonderful experience for someone into a place that they don't ever want to go again. And so you need to just be very consistent. If you're going to, be unapproachable all the way through, I suppose that's a method, but we don't want to go there. We want to be approachable. We want to be memorable. We want to be a positive buying experience from tip to toe for every single customer, every single show, every single time. So if you're creating a brand, a common experience that I have my customers go through is they choose 3 to 5 words that best describes the brand. So that's like a little exercise that we can do. And you can say, I want to be colorful, and I want to be memorable, and I want to be Floridian. And if you want to do bright Floridian sunsets, and that is what you are always going to put out there, that's awesome. That's a brand. So you just need to start somewhere. And then once you have built that brand, you're just going to be consistent. Hit it the same exact way every single time. Consistency builds trust among your customers. I think I said that to you guys last year even. Consistency is so important when you're building a business. Okay, so next we're going to talk about your audience. And the audience is anyone who buys your products. So how many people in here know who buys their products? Yeah, you better, Mom. Okay, so how many people here were really happy with their most recent Art in the Park or gallery show or... Okay, right. So we're going to start there. So we're going to start with the audience piece, and then we're going to help you to use the audience to do better at the shows and to do better in selling your products. So you need to know who buys your products. I would like you to do some homework. The next show that you are in or the next event that you are at, I want you to write down something, actually probably 3 to 5 somethings about every customer that buys something from you. I want you to know their name. I want you to know a little bit about where they're from. Are they local? Are they a traveler? Are they a seasonal person? Are they a snowbird? Tell me something about your customer, because you're going to see over time there's some commonality, because the same kind of people will be drawn to your work. Is it going to be exactly the same person? No, but we call it an avatar. An avatar is the kind of silhouette of the person who's buying your products. And then after you have an idea of who is buying your products, I want you to look at if this person is the person that you want to be buying your products. Is the person who's buying from you today the person who should be buying from you? Is this the person you think you're creating for? Is this the person that you think do you want her friends to come to her house, see your work, and buy from you? Do you want this customer again? Do you want people just like this over and over and over? Because today, that's what you're getting in theory. Because someone who comes to my house and sees my mom's plate on the counter says, oh, it's so pretty, where'd you get it? That's what you want, right? But only if it's a good customer. You don't want the person who was mean to you. You want the good customers coming back. You want the good customers sending their friends. So make sure that the person who is finding you is the person that you want to be talking to and the person that you want to be targeting. So if that is the case, if it is already the right person, find out how they found you. So that's the other question I want you to ask them at the show. How did you find me? Is this your first art in the park? Is this the first show that you've been to at this gallery? Is this the first time that you've been here? How did you learn about it? Did you see it in the paper? I know that the Artist Guild is putting ads in the paper. It may be that they just walked by. They just moved to Dunedin. Oh, wonderful. Now they might have work from every single one of you by the end of the year. What we want is to find out how they found you so that you can go back to that source, find other customers just like it. If your ads in the paper are working, put more ads in the paper. If they found you because they saw you on Facebook and you had an event that you were showing at this whatever event it is, and they came and took some time out of their day, that is a good customer. Put more posts out there, put more events out there so that those same people or people like them are going to find you again. So find out what works and find out what works to get the people you want to come and see you again and again and again. And not just the exact person, but at least the profile of the person, that silhouette. You can fill in the details later. You don't need to know exactly everything about the person, but it is helpful if you can at least get a little bit of the detail narrowed down every time. So you'll get a better picture over time. Okay. And then, ask for referrals. If a customer buys from you, get their email address. Please get their email address and send them a follow-up email that says, thank you for buying from me. How did you like the product? Take the feedback that they're going to give you on the product and how they like it in their home. And then put a little note that says, if you want to come see me again, I will be here at this next show. And then you can have a little note that says, you can forward this message to your friends, basically. There's other ways to say that, by the way, but that's basically what you want. Send a thank you, for sure. Please send a thank you note to people. Okay, now we have our audience. We know who's going to be there, but we're going to talk now about the show piece of it. How to choose whether you want to attend a show. Find out, if you can, who is going to be there. Is that audience that you just picked for yourself, that you want to sell to, going to be there? Because if she's not there, you don't need to be there either. And if she is, that should be a priority show for you. What other artists will be at the show? Does their work complement yours? If you don't know what the customer profile is, think about the other artists that sell to people like you. To people whose work appeals to customers that would also buy from you. You guys can look around the room and say, oh yeah, her work is a lot the same customer as mine, or not so much. So find out who else is going to the show, and then that can help make the decision. Who is hosting the show? Is it a gallery that you would like to one day be in? Is it an organization that you are a member of or would like to one day be in? If all of those align with that brand that you built for yourself, so if the customer is the right customer, if the artists are appealing to a similar audience as you, and the host of the show is someone that either you are a member or you would like to be a member, or it fits your brand, then the answer is always yes. If all three of those components are there, the answer to the show is yes. If it's 2 out of 3, then it's a matter of cost. Is it, well, it's a pretty good fit. We've got 2 out of 3 and it's a relatively inexpensive show. Sure, give it a whirl, see what happens. If it's 1 out of 3, the answer is probably no, even if it's the cheapest show all year. Because if the customers aren't there And if it's not an organization that you're really excited about, it's not going to be the right show for you, because you're not going to be as excited to be there, and that shows. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about the individual options. So gallery is first. We're going to talk about showing your work in a gallery. If you show, this is for a gallery show, for example, like Sterling coming up, you guys, this is relevant for you right now. If you are showing your work in a gallery, show the best work you have, regardless of the price. I do not care if you don't think people can afford it. Show it. It's your best work. Show it off. Plus work that is attainable for your customer. So take the most expensive piece you have, or the one that you're proudest of if it's not the most expensive, and show that. Then alongside that, show something that actually might sell. So you want to have the inspirational piece that, you know what, it might sell, you never know. But then the attainable. So both sides, we want inspirational and attainable for every show if you can swing it. If you're showing multiple pieces, you want to organize your artwork by theme or choose a single theme. For this one, the theme's been chosen for you, but if you have a little bit more latitude, choose a theme so that your customers can easily recognize how those pieces should or could be grouped together. Do the work for them. Arrange your work the same way that a customer would on a gallery wall at their house. You see, they're very popular right now. You go on Pinterest or anywhere, people have those gallery walls. Great, make your stuff look like that. Put it together in a way that someone could easily take a picture of it in the gallery, then go arrange it exactly like that in their home with a big showpiece in the middle. Do the work for people. Make it as easy as possible for them to copy off of you in their home. Not your work, but your organization style. So, for a gallery, most important thing, inspirational and attainable. And then organize by theme, something that makes sense to your customers. Okay, for a booth, so Art in the Park just happened. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Your booth is your retail store. If you do not sell your products in a retail store, your booth is your retail store. Create an environment that your customers want to shop in that also fits the overall show. So if you think a store within a store, for a bigger store, your booth is your little shop within a big store. Use a large logo sign if you are allowed. Put your branding on your booth so that people can see it and say, oh, I recognized that picture. I saw that logo last month. I really like that work. Create simple walls that make your customer feel like they're walking in to a little boutique. You want to have, if you're allowed, again, some of these are, you won't always be able to do this, but if you can, you want to create a little boutique feel. Use materials that are relevant to your products and the show. So put together a display that is well suited to the environment that it's in. So if you have a high-end show, don't use regular old pegboard. Paint it white, make it look clean, create an environment that you actually think your customers want to shop in. Be accessible and friendly. Easy to answer questions, smile, greet people when they come in. Simple. Okay, so again, within the booth, sturdy, simple displays. Everything should be white, black, gray. Your work is the showpiece. Your tablecloths are not. If you do not own white, gray, or black tablecloths, I am not kidding you when I tell you, go buy them today. Today. Do not put your work on whatever, oh, I have this. No. Go put that in the donate bin and buy something white, gray, or black today. Because you want to show off the work, not the tablecloth. Keep your shelves clutter-free. It should be simple. It can be busy. You can have a lot of product there as long as it doesn't look cluttered. It's much easier for someone to pick up a piece and leave a hole, and the next person to come and see that something was bought. Your products are more desirable if someone else has already bought them. That's human psychology. So I told my mom this at Art in the Park the other day. After a couple of hours, even if you've only sold like 3 things, take a couple of random other ones off the table and just put them away. You can backfill it. You can backstock. That's easy. But the more holes there are, to a point, don't go crazy. But if you've got a couple of holes on every table, that makes it look like you're selling something off of every table. That's what you want. So the moment you open, full tables, okay? After 2 hours, pick up 3 things, in addition to whatever has been sold. Okay, now, one more time. Don't distract from the artwork. Your product is the most important thing, not your tablecloths. Okay, now onto the collateral. This is your bags, your business cards, your brochures. If you do classes and you put the schedule for your classes in your booth in the corner of your table, that's part of your collateral. Anything that has your name on it, anything that's part of your brand, put your logo on it, put your name on it, put the most preferred contact information on it. If you are not going to pick up your phone, please don't put your phone number on there. If you are only going to respond to email, email is what should be on there. Make sure that it's the most preferred contact method that's sitting on your materials. And that's any materials. Again, create a large logo sign for your booth or gallery wall, not at the expense of a simple display, but at least to make it more recognizable. Put your logo on your bags so that when people take away your products that have sold, they can see where they bought it. Print some business cards, or actually I prefer magnets to hand out, so they make business card shaped magnets. I love these for my clients because it's something that people will just stick on their fridge, and they're not that much more expensive than business cards to print. So it's just as easy to hand out as a business card because it's the same size, fits in their wallet, and then they'll actually stick it on their fridge at home. Or you can do a little logo-sized circle or something like that so that people will remember you. Make it useful, basically. A magnet is more useful than a business card. And then create printed brochures with your schedule for all of the classes, shows, when people can find you. A lot of times people will come to a show ready to spend a little bit of money. If you are the last booth that they get to, they are out of money. That does not mean they like your products any less. If the budget is $50, then the budget is $50 for them. If the budget is $250, the budget is $250. I saw it over the weekend. People would walk into the booth and put their hands behind their back, and I didn't even notice it. But my mom said it's because they don't want to touch it, because if they touch it, they will want it. And it happens over and over and over again. And so if they've already spent their money for the day, but they like your stuff, give them a business card or a schedule, even better, so that they can come and see you again. So give them both. Give them a business card and a schedule. And then put your website or social media on all of your printed materials. Again, only the ones that you're going to use. If you set up an Instagram account 2 years ago and you've got 3 posts, please don't put that anywhere. If you're not on the platform and you are giving it out to people, they will be confused. They will expect to find you there because you're telling them that you're there. So just be be easy to find on whatever you're putting out there. Okay, and online. So online is part of merchandising. We're going from, if you put it on the paper, be ready to be there online. Okay, so if whatever it is, create a website if you can to sell your artwork. Choose a marketplace. Could be Etsy, could be Amazon, could be anywhere, wherever you want to sell. These are ideas. You don't have to do every single one of them. It's overwhelming if you try and do all of them at once. So in fact, I recommend that you do a couple of them. Then once you're confident with one or two, add one. So create a website. Once you're confident using your website, create an Instagram account. Or backwards, it doesn't matter. Create one thing at a time. Gain the confidence using that, and then add something to it. Okay. Then create a profile for your business on each platform that you want to use for social media. That could be Facebook, could be Pinterest, could be Instagram. Doesn't matter. Whatever ones you choose that work for your business, those are the best ones for you. And then add those things to those signs like we talked about, the collateral materials that you're giving out at shows. Again, if you use it for a few months and you don't like it, just delete it. It's okay to not have a Facebook profile and to have tried it for 6 months and said, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. That's okay. Just delete it entirely. They have an option to delete the page and it'll go away forever. It's better to not have it than to have one that you created, used for a short time, and then it looks like it's inactive. And then take great photos of your products. Because when you're online, that's the only thing that you have is the pictures. The pictures are much more compelling than the words. So use video if you can. If you are a painter that does many, many layers on your paintings, you can show some of the early steps and then in a video of you painting, and then a photograph of how it comes out. So you might do a corner detail of you painting the sky or the sea, whatever it is, and then one small structure, and then use that same painting later, the full thing. So you can show people how you do it without giving it all away. All right, that's it. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.